Hello everyone. That was a mic check, guys. Okay. How often have we been told to keep the professional and personal separate? Be it our passions or emotions, a true blue professional keeps them at bay at the workplace. This separation is harder in the anytime, any place work environment of today, but we still cling to this notion of separation and balance in all our professional endeavors. What if I tell you that there is one profession where the personal is vital for professional success, and that you can extend it to any profession? Today I will talk about my journey as a professional publisher and how it allows me to bring my true self to work every day. I will also talk about the journey of publishing and the changes in the way content is transmitted and consumed have impacted it. Evolving through these changes has brought publishers closer to their purpose, the why of their existence as it were, alongside the what. Engaging with a set of values that brings meaning and has tangible impact is a powerful motivator and connector. It is also deeply satisfying both professionally and personally. For me, it started almost 30 years ago. I was hired as an editor based on my knowledge of a subject, in my case economics, and reasonable language skills. I loved the engagement with the discipline and its many eminent disciples that the job brought me. But what took me by surprise was how enamored I became with the craft of publishing. The honing, polishing and enhancing of texts, exploring fonts and layouts, and the interaction with design and art was not just fascinating but all-consuming. Less surprising as a student of economics was the joy of marrying creativity with commerce. Fixed and variable costs, margins, discounts and print runs, sales forecasts and inventory management, I loved it all. I learned very early that the best editors are invisible. What does this mean? Basically, the effort an editor puts in to develop and present the work of an author should not be visible to the reader. There should be no barrier between the author's voice and the reader's interpretation. Only a clear passage provided by the editor's critical but invisible inputs. Publishing is personal for the authors who choose publishers to frame, curate, and amplify their ideas. As a writer myself, I know how much of oneself one puts into one's writing, even when the content itself is not personal. There is a huge element of trust involved in sharing your writing with a publisher. Equally for professionals who make their career in publishing, the interactions as editors, engaging with ideas and versions of text, sometimes over several years, involves personal commitment and creates bonds both with the writing and the writer. The invisibility of an editor's work can and often does extend to the entire publishing process. Anticipating trends and connecting readers to relevant knowledge, authenticating and verifying to ensure quality, and amplifying authentic voices is what publishing is at its core. The functions underlying these actions, described as commissioning, editing, production, and marketing, are familiar to all. The seemingly seamless interface, seen as a natural progression from researcher to reader, is increasingly taken for granted. The fact that the progress from conception to publication and dissemination involves hundreds of domain experts and thousands of dollars in technology spends remains unseen. Technology has transformed publishing in the 3 decades since I joined as a rookie economics editor. The first phase was in book production and design, making it easier, faster, and increasingly accessible. Today, AI is being deployed for many publishing functions, and ChatGPT explored to improve efficiencies in mechanical tasks, and not just by publishers. Funnily enough, the economics of publishing has also changed radically. First with the advent of digital books, and then with the popularization of open access publishing, which allows for free access, sharing, and use of published content. Self-publishing is popular, and as access to platforms and on-demand services increases, is expected to grow over 9% in this decade. There are more authors than ever before, and content is growing exponentially, increasingly freely available to read, share, and reuse. So why do we need publishers? And on a personal note, why do I feel that what I do is important and has value? Consider this. In the world of academic publishing alone, Dimensions data shows that there were 6.8 million peer-reviewed articles and 64,000 edited books and monographs published in 2022 by 8.9 million experts. If you include other categories like chapters, preprints, and proceedings, the figure is a staggering 13.6 million. All these have been curated, framed, and amplified by academic publishers. There are millions, even trillions of data points beyond this, and they are growing exponentially. An average search on a trending topic throws out 100,000 to 300,000 options on Google Scholar. And this is just English language and largely academic content. The inescapable point is that there's a lot of content, even in specialized areas, and it is growing exponentially in size and variety. In such a scenario, as a researcher, instructor, or student, how do you find what is relevant for your work? And once you do, how do you confirm its veracity? As an author, how do you identify a publisher or a journal and then confirm their credibility? How do you then frame your work in line with the requirements of that publication? How do you ensure your work fits ethical norms and protects copyright, both yours and of the content you cite or use? How can you collaborate with others in your discipline and grow specialist networks and be part of global hubs? After publication, how do you ensure discoverability, usage, and amplification of your research? After all, you need to grow citations and show impact to get a job and to build your reputation. This curation, amplification, and impact of knowledge as connected links is what excites me about my profession. The value addition that publishers bring to authors by providing these connections is vital to their careers and thus deeply personal to them as well. Cross-publisher initiatives like ThinkCheck Submit and the more recent ThinkCheck Attend, providing guidance on where to submit your article or what events and conferences to attend, are two small examples of personalized support provided by publishers to researchers. The pressure to publish, often described as the publish or perish culture, is growing with the growth of content. Increasingly added to this is the be visible or vanish concern, which is the academics' version of Insta posts for showcasing our activities and ideas. Just like in the case of social media, this pressure to make their research available and visible makes potential academic authors vulnerable to predatory publishing, including paper mills and fake journals. And just like in social media posts, even one publication in a questionable journal stays on your record forever and can cause reputational damage. Academic publishers create awareness and offer pointers that provide protection from these unethical and in the end fruitless ways of increasing publications and citations. Going a step further, they take responsibility for the content they publish using screening tools and expert staff to rigorously check publication workflows. If mistakes occur, as they sometimes do, they continue to be responsible, issuing retractions and withdrawing papers. All these factors bring to the fore the why and how of publishers, even as questions are raised about what they do. As a writer, your writing is deeply personal to you. So you need to be assured that your copyright will be protected and acknowledged even in the unpublished work you're submitting to your publisher. Also, after investing so much of your time in the writing project, you wish for objective feedback, rigorous quality checks, and help in reaching a relevant audience. While the production of a book via self-publishing platforms can be done individually, these aspects require professional support. For publishing professionals, the close engagement with content and the value it brings to readers for learning outcomes or professional growth is a personal motivator. The belief that what they are doing helps others and the satisfaction that brings may be one of the reasons why many publishing professionals are lifers. This is certainly true for my journey. I stayed in my first job for 17 years, learning the ropes, taking on different roles, and slowly climbing the ladder. And when I left, The books I'd helped to publish continue to read new readers. For years after, I would see them on reading lists and stumble on new editions in libraries. Many authors who had seamlessly become friends continued their publishing journeys, often inviting me to their book launches and gifting me signed copies that will forever adorn my bookshelves. Even a decade after leaving behind an editorial role and donning a fully commercial hat, these friends continue to discuss their book ideas with me and equally avidly explore my professional experiences with interest. In the wider ecosystem, especially in India, publishing is often a family business, and there's nothing more personal than our families. In India, many book distributors and booksellers set up traditional family businesses with extended joint families in the book trade. The interactions with writers and readers this brought made them take on publishing as a natural extension. Many have been in the business for at least 2 generations, and the third is soon to step in. From the congested lanes of Ansari Road in Old Delhi, the traditional book district, to College Street in Kolkata, and book fairs in London and Frankfurt, hosting publishers, buyers and sellers from around the world, there is a common familial bond. The belief that what we do has purpose and makes a difference in whatever world we inhabit. I often joke that booksellers are the same anywhere in the world you go. This is equally true for publishers and editors. In the professional universe too, after a decade as MD, I am conscious of another family. One that I have nurtured, guided and grown. One that has given me support, joy and a sense of fulfillment. One with whom I have collectively spent more time than any other family. One that has taught me that leadership is a gift they are bestowing upon me. How much more personal can the professional get? Providing value and being a link in a professional chain that impacts the lives of individuals, institutions and communities is a powerful motivator and connector. It is also deeply satisfying at the personal level. As I look back on my journey of almost 30 years and the journey of Indian publishing, I see on the path forward all that we need to keep doing to foster knowledge for human progress. I see the role, however small, I can continue to play in that endeavor. This aligns with my beliefs and resonates with how I see myself, making the professional deeply personal to me. It can be the same to you. You can make it so. Thank you very much.